Hey, what's up, guys? Gangster Jeweler here. So today we got a little bit of a unique piece that we're going to be working on. It's a little different. Uh, you can see it's broke here on the side, and then also if you look, if I can zoom you guys in here, if you look right there, it's also broke there too. Now what's going to be unique when we go to weld this, we want to make sure that we have the flame coming across. We don't want to point the flame down towards those stones, because these stones cannot take heat. They will shatter. They will shatter in a microsecond. So that's kind of what we're working on today. I'm going to, and then I got to try to straighten the shank out. Do you see this, the way this shank is? See how it's like, I don't even know how it got like that. See how it's like kind of oblong, like it's pushed out that way. It's really weird. And unfortunately, I'm going to suspect chlorine damage or bleach. Reason being, is see how jagged that break is? That's very, very jagged. Now, something to keep in mind, if you ever see a really, really jagged break like that, you could, doesn't always mean that's the case, but you gotta suspect it could be chlorine or bleach damage when it's jagged like that. Now, if it's a clean break, like if it's straight across, it's just clean, then that means it broke where it was welded at some point. If it's just a clean break, straight line, then it'd come apart where it was welded. Doesn't necessarily mean it was where you welded it. It could have been where somebody else had welded it. But if it's clean straight line, then it come apart at the weld. But this is very jagged. You can see. Let me zoom in. See how jagged that is? Very jagged. So I'm suspecting bleach or chlorine damage, and then you can see how oblong that shank is over here on this side. On this side it's straight, but it gets over here and then it goes a wave out that way and then down, which is strange. But we're gonna fix that too. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and weld this part here together first, and then we'll work on the part underneath the head that's broke. But what we're gonna have to do first, before we go welding anything on this one side, we need to what we need to do is we need to even these sides out because they're jagged. So we need to go ahead and make them even. We'll just use our cutting disc for that. And here again, this shank is rather flimsy, rather thin too. But I mean, you just have to be very careful with it. If somebody's wearing it, they got to be extra careful with it, because they got to pick something up heavy. It'd be very easy for that to bend. So we almost got it straight. There you go. Now you can see we got a little bit better, not as jagged, a little more even. So what we're going to do now, we're going to push this over a little bit, because it's, we'll use our crimpers here. Try to bring it down even with the ring. And what's weird is since it's bowed out like this, we got to try to grab the shank and twist it a little bit to get it to even up, because it's off center a little bit. That is just so strange how that's wobbled out like that. Now to get it to meet, what we have to do is we have to kind of put it over and kind of push it to a little bit to get it to meet, because using the crimpers, it really don't want to go down and meet quite like it should. And we can always round this out once we've got it welded. We're going to straighten the shank out and everything for sure. There we go. Now she's even. Alright, you see we got it even there. We're going to go ahead and weld this part, and then we'll straighten the shank out once we got it welded. Then we'll do the bottom underneath the head. But let's go ahead and get this set up here to weld that one side. And we're gonna have to turn it like that. And then my favorite part, we get to put it in boric acid denatured alcohol and light this sucker on fire, man. That's the best part. We're going to be using a 5-tip for this. See if we can't go ahead and light that up. There we go. And my torch died on me here. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and cut us a piece of solder here. We don't need a super big piece. And go ahead and get us some flux. Put us a little bit of flux on there. All right. Now for the fun part. Let me go ahead and get you guys zoomed in here. And we are going to go ahead and weld this bad boy. Let's see. Grab our solder here. And remember, you got stones that will not take heat. We're far enough away here that we don't have to worry about it, as when we're doing the others, or the underneath close to the stones, that we're gonna have to be careful, because they will shatter in like a second flat, literally. If you haven't seen the video I made of which stones can take heat and which ones can't, I recommend go checking that one out. You'll see how fast the purple ice and pretty much anything purple will shatter. But right here we're far enough away that we don't have to worry about it too much. Come on. I'm going to pull one more through there just because I don't like the way that went. Just one more small piece. I didn't really like the way that went through. Grab our solder here. Come on, get on the pick, man. Be like Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore. Go to your home. Go home, ball. I love that movie. I don't care how many times I watch it. It's always funny. I like when he's beating the shit out of Bob Barker and then Bob Barker's beating the shit out of him. There we go. I like that a little better. Alright. Let's go ahead and turn our torch off. Let me zoom you guys back out here. Now, we're going to have to let this air cool for a minute. Being that that is hot, you do not, with them purple ice, or they could be purple ice, they could even be amethyst. I think they're more amethyst though. They don't have that purple ice look. But either way, if it's purple, don't stick it in water right after you've heated it. They'll shatter. And don't put heat directly on the stones, they'll shatter. So be very mindful of that. We're going to let that cool off for a second as I'm dropping the ring everywhere. Let's go ahead and stick this on the mandrel. Kind of helps cool it a little faster. You put it on a metal mandrel. You know, it's actually pretty cool already. You can touch it now. Alright. Let's take a look at what we got here. Yeah, it looks good, looks good. So you can see we got it welded together on that side there. We do need to straighten it up and make a little clean in there, but before we do that, I want to get this shank back straight. It's ovaled or oblong. See if we can. Well, that thing is, I don't know how that got like that, man. Really don't. There we go. That's looking a little better. We still got to do a little more tapping though. And we're just tapping on the side with a ball peen hammer a little bit. Try to get that back straight. There you go. You can see that's looking... That looks a hell of a lot better. Not all oblong, wavy. Heck yeah. It looks 1,000 times better. Yeah, that's about as straight as we're going to get it. But that looks a hell of a lot better. Look at that. Don't have that wave going on there. Alright, now before we go cleaning anything up, let's go ahead and weld this bottom part. Now right here's where it's broke, right there. And we're very close to these stones. So when we're welding this, we want to try, if we can, to have the flame not pointing directly down towards the stones. We want it going straight across. If you're not too comfortable with this, I recommend getting you a cup of water and sticking this down, the stones down into water, and then welding it if you're a little newer, just to be on the safe side. But I'm pretty comfortable. It's far enough away still from the stones, and I can keep the heat away enough to weld that part. So we're just going to put that together like that so that it's even again, and then let's go ahead and set her up, get her welded. Now I know we didn't dip it in water, but just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna dip it back in the boric acid denatured alcohol again. Can never have too much of a fire coat. Light her up. Alright, we're gonna use a little bit of a small flame here. Alright, let's go ahead and put some flux on this thing. And then need to turn that just a little bit like that. And we're not going to need a very huge piece of solder, so just a small little piece. Okay. And we're not going to be using a big flame either. We're still using a 5 tip. Alright, let me zoom you guys in here. We're still using a 5 tip. Now remember, if these were diamonds, we wouldn't worry about how we got the flame going. But being that these are heat sensitive stones, I got the stones on the actual third hand, and then I'm gonna have the flame pointing away from the stones as I'm welding. Okay, so we're not going to be going directly on top like this towards the stones. I got it cockeyed to one side, and we're going to be flame away from the stones. And I'm going to try to keep you guys in focus as I'm doing this. Remember, flame away from the stones. If they're non-heat heat sensitive stones, then you don't really have to worry about it. You know what I mean? Alright, we got her welded, guys. And see, that wasn't too difficult. You know, just make sure the flame is going away from the stones, which I had it pointed out this direction, going that way, away from the stones. You don't want to be right on top, coming down like this. But if you're newer, just to be on the safe side, I would recommend getting you a cup of water and just dipping the stones in the water while you're trying to weld that. That'll make life a little bit easier for you. A little less hairy carry. Let me zoom you guys back out here. A little less hairy carry. We're gonna let that sit and cool for a minute. And you know, like I said, I can tell you guys this, I can show you guys this, but experience is going to be the best teacher. You just learn by doing, and you know, you're gonna make mistakes, man. Shit's gonna happen. It's like anything you learn, you know, you're gonna screw something up. And I think this is probably one of the less forgiving ones, kind of like auto mechanic. You know, you screw something up, it's gonna cost you. It can be a little unforgiving. That's why I say you always want to practice on either your own stuff or somebody's stuff. You know, if you tell them, hey man, you know, I'm learning, but if you don't, you know, I'll try it, and they don't mind, you know, kind of thing. But you know, I've been doing this almost 30 years now, and I was there, man. I've made all the mistakes. You know, all the knowledge I have is from making the mistakes. So I'm trying to let you know the best I can. But even me telling you, a lot of times you're not going to learn by me just telling you. You're going to learn by actually making the mistakes, and then you're going to say, and trust me, when you make those mistakes, you'll remember them. You're like, never do that again. So don't think just because you can't, you know, if you're having trouble right now, that you can't do it, man. We've all been there. I was there long time ago. I was there. Had no freaking clue, man. We've all been there. And any jeweler that says they ain't been there is lying to you, man. We've all been there. Alright, that's pretty cooled off. Alright, so our shink's looking pretty good. And our weld's looking good. You can see right here's where we welded it together right there. Now we gotta clean that up a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and do that right now real fast. It's looking ugly right now, but it won't be that way for too long. Let's go ahead and get us an inside rock here. And we're just cleaning the inside up, get it even. We'll smooth it out in a little bit with a silicone wheel. Alright, now alright, that's looking better in the inside there. Let's go ahead and switch to a outside rock real fast. And then because this shank is not real wide, normally I would say use a file to file the sides down. But you can see this shank is already not very wide. So I'm not going to use I would say use a file to file these sides down. But I'm not. I'm going to use a rock for the top here. Then I'm going to use a silicone wheel and just get the sides even that way. Because this shank is already not very wide as it is. And a file might be a little too aggressive for it. Alright, let's go ahead and switch to our silicone wheel now. See if we can't get these sides even. Like so. Alright, we got that one side pretty even there. Let's go to the other side. Boy, that's such a small shank. I'd actually be kind of scared to wear this ring every day. You have to be a little extra careful with this. There we go. So we got the sides nice and even now. Got the inside done. Let's go ahead and switch to our inside silicone wheel, and we're going to file. Well, before we do that, since we got this silicone wheel, we're going to smooth out the outside of this, and then we'll switch to the inside silicone wheel and do the inside of this and the inside of that other weld. Let's go ahead and hit this outside of this real quick. Kind of even that up a little bit. Alright, got the outside of that evened up, so let's go ahead and switch to a inside silicone wheel. And we're just going to file that excess down on the inside where we had to weld it under the head there. Look at that, guys. You'd never know it was broke. Look at that. Let's see if I can zoom you guys in here. A little bit of excess on that inner part, but I'm not going to file that out on this inner part and give it a little more stability. But for the most part, you can't even tell it was broke there. How about that? Now let's smooth out this inside here on this side, and then we got to smooth out the rest of the shake. And before we go any further, I do need to round this back out a little bit with a rubber mallet. There we go, that looks a little better. Just kind of wasn't liking the shape of the ring there for a minute. Alright guys, we got that inside pretty clean. Alright, let's go ahead and switch back to our outer silicone wheel and finish smoothing out the rest of the finish smoothing out the tops and the sides. Alright, now let's go ahead and take care of the sides here. Get all the deep scratches out and stuff. Go ahead and do the other side now. Alright guys, so you can see we have got our side welded, and we got the shank a lot straighter than it was, hell of a lot straighter than it was, and we got our inside piece welded right on this side here, where it was broke right here. So I'm going to go drop this into ultrasound, guys, and polish this thing up, and we will be back to look at the finished product, guys. I will be right back. Alright guys, we're back with that ring. You can see we got it nice, clean, and polished. Trying to keep the fingerprints off of it. We got that shank fixed on the side. We got the shank straight again. Don't have that wobble in it. And then we also got, let me zoom you guys in here. So you can see we got the shank fixed pretty good. We got the underneath the head fixed where it was cracked there. And can't even tell where we put it back together. And that's the way it should be. And that's the way it should be. But this is another repair down, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Some of my loyal people. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If you're new to the channel, if you would like to subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to leave a tip or donation, I'll have the link for that down in the description, although that's not required. Just kind of helps the channel grow a little bit. And also, if you'd like for me to do your repairs, if you visit my Etsy shop, which I'll have the link for that down in the description, and I'll probably make a video of me doing your repairs. But boy, that turned out nice. I just don't like how small that shank is, though. The shank's a little too small for my liking, but it's not my ring. So anyways, also I have a kick live reaction stream that I do. I'll have the link for that down in the description, and also have another YouTube channel where pretty much all my live streams go. So I'll have the link for that down in the description as well. But oh, also, if you're looking to buy jewelry in the Jacksonville area, I highly recommend Money Miser on Blanding Boulevard. And if you're not in the Jacksonville area and you're looking to buy jewelry online, I have a link down, I'll have a link down in the description for Stellar Jewelry. I highly recommend them. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. This is another one down. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. All our stones are still intact. And this is a Gangster Jeweler, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.